My name is Karla and this is my manifesto. I'd like to start by saying, according to the theory of nations, until and unless a state has transited from statehood to nationhood, the gains of democracy, if at all present, will be minimal. Now, the key word to look at here is nationhood, not nationalism. Nationalism is defining ourselves by our culture, our language, our tribe. And that's why you see some things happening in our nation where certain tribes say they want to become a nation. But nationhood is about us defining ourselves by our purpose. Who are we in Nigeria? What do we want? And why are we here? My manifesto is about structuring Nigeria. And I'm looking at structuring Nigeria in three aspects. The first aspect is governance. Because without governance, there'll be no order, there'll be no peace, there'll be no security, and we will always have holes in our budget. And then the next is structuring our economic value, because without that, there would be no wealth in our country. There will be riches with mineral resources, but there will be no wealth because commerce would be terrible. And then the next is structuring our national identity, because without it, there will be no nationhood and there will be no governance. Now, looking at governance, we have to look at the three arms of government, the three levels of government, and the Nigerian constitution. These three aspects should reflect who we are as a nation, what the purpose is. The purpose for growth needs to be reflected in our constitution. So one of the first things I'll do is call for an amendment of the Nigerian constitution for equity, justice, fairness, and relevance to the 21st century. Then I'll look at the different levels of government, the arms of government, and also to economic value. In matter of economic value, making sure that our currency valuation, first of all, is the plan to de-dollarize. Make sure that our currencies are backed by our resources. And also to provide infrastructural development in the power sector, to provide infrastructural development in the education sector, in the agriculture sector, and also some sort of CSR laws that can make sure that people who do business in our country have the habit of giving back. A very good example is our banks setting up their CSR as setting up tech hubs in different communities. Rather than seeing things where a certain bank or certain industry comes together to build a roundabout in a certain state. How's that going to help our young people? Then I look at national identity, and the best way to push national identity is through the education sector. The sectors through the education sector, which will be instrumental in the upgrade of our curriculum and include Nigerian history in our primary courses, in our wire courses, these courses that define who Nigerians are. Who are we? Improve the value and orientation by making polytechnics and artisanal production instrumentation to our economic development. Now, the other aspect that I didn't talk about was the arms of government, the legislative arm of government. We would cut down on the cost of maintaining our legislative arm, because these are the people who create our laws, and these are the people who transmit to the executive arm, making sure that the people who work in legislative and executive are patriotic to Nigeria, cutting down on the cost for maintenance, such that governors and other politicians don't find it as a retirement home when they are done with their political activities. These are some of the things that I will do when I become president. Thank you. Please vote for me. I believe that Nigeria can be better if we have better leadership that are courageous and leadership that are intentional. Thank you.